And today we're looking at whether or not Spurs and Manchester United's transfer business thus far is going to be enough to get one of them or both of them into the top four. Simon, I wonder where we go with this. When you look at it, so Spurs or United, their business this far. In for Manchester United, Malacia, he came from Feyenoord, I think it was. Christian Eriksen came in on a free. Lisandro Martinez came in from Ajax. And a whole bunch of them have gone. Cavani, Mata, Pogba, Lingard, Matic, Henderson, Pereira.
Yep.
In at Tottenham, Ivan Perisic, he was a free. Fraser Forster, no big Fraser, he was a free from Southampton. Ibissouma from Brighton. Richarlison from Everton. Clement Lenglet from Barcelona. And Jed Spence from Middlesbrough.
Yep.
Out, Bergwijn's gone, Clark's gone, Parrott's gone, Scarlett's gone, Rodon's gone.
Yep.
In terms of ins, Tottenham have done far more effective business, you would argue, than United.
Absolutely. I mean, the players they've brought in all have, Perisic is someone that was obviously quite well known to Conte. And
yes,
will bring quality into the side. Foster's a goalkeeper, so we know what he's capable of. The boy from Brighton is a very good player. Richarlison, I think, is a great addition for them. I hate his rolling around, his histrionics, but the boy can play.
And Conte will stop that.
And Conte will get into that and stop that. You look at Jed Spence, who's was successful last year at Nottingham Forest. Neil Warnock sort of slung him out of Middlesbrough and told him to go and do something meaningful with his life, and he's done it at Nottingham Forest and then gone to Tottenham Hotspur with an opportunity. We'll see how that plays out for him, because Tottenham have a history of signing players from so-called smaller clubs, and the players think it's an opportunity and don't actually get what they want from it. But I think of the two sides, if you look at Man United, they've signed a left-back because obviously they're not feeling that particular area strong enough. They've signed a centre-back, and they've signed a centre midfield player on a free that was Brentford last year, who's a decent player, but I don't think he's going to make the difference to Manchester United. Obviously, we're waiting for these headline signings like Frankie de Jong, but Tottenham's business, I think the players that United have released are the right ones to release. I think Juan Mata had run his course. He was a fatherly, decent lad, run his course. Yeah. Pogba was just whatever Pogba was. Edison Cavani, again, as at a certain stage in his career. Lingard, well, that was we know what that was. It was a running down one's contract of an opportunity somewhere else. And Dean Henderson, as a goalkeeper, is a good goalkeeper, but clearly they think David De Gea is their number one. So I look at it and say, what does this tell us about where Manchester United are? I can't get my head. People saying it's because they think that Frankie de Jong is playing hide and seek with himself because he wants to get paid on the way out. And if the moment he says he wants to go to Man United, then he'll be in a situation where Barcelona say, well, actually, we ain't going to give you that money we owe you. That's rubbish. If he wanted to go to Manchester United, you'd be clear this would be resolved. I don't think he wants to go to Man United, and I don't know what it tells us about Manchester United.
What we do know about United was they were 13 points off fourth.
Yeah, but
last season.
I mean, last year was just a disaster. It was just a disaster.
So what's this one shaping up to be?
Well, we don't know what. We've got this notion that Ten Hag's first interview was uninspiring because we're highly critical. We were on air at the time when he was doing his first interview, and it was not the most inspiring of interviews because he wasn't the most charismatic. But we don't know what that means in terms of his translation onto the training pitch. Then we hear the next raft of information coming out that he has very definite views about how the players will behave and who they will relate to and who they will speak to, and some of that was quite interesting to hear, and right, by the way, that he expected a culture of respect and privacy and loyalty and integrity behind the scenes, so he doesn't expect to hear things from agents in the media about the players' attitude towards things, and I thought, well, that was a positive sign. He still has the challenges because we got this idea yesterday that we haven't discussed on today's show, but maybe we'll carry it over to tomorrow, about this think tank being put together.
Yes.
At Manchester United, about who's going to be part of it and who should be involved in it. And obviously the past you can learn from, but it doesn't always shape the future because the past is the past. That's where it's confined to. And what Manchester United once was under Alex Ferguson is not Manchester United anymore.
Far from it.
And the landscape that Manchester United are having to compete on is very different to the landscape that perhaps Ferguson had to compete on. You've got the Liverpools and the Man Cities of the world that are in a very different state than perhaps the Premier League was when Alex Ferguson was dominating it at the time. And I'm not in any shape or form decrying his achievements. Sure. You can listen to these people, but the here and now is something that is very relative to the here and now in terms of what Alex Ferguson departed in 2013 probably bears no resemblance to the Man United of 2022. So this think tank to help Ten Hag build a side and to build an outcome and to build a set of achievements with him and David Gill and whoever else is amongst the mix, maybe there's some intellectual capital to be gained by it. The person that has to get hold of this side is not Richard Arnold, is not John Murtough, it is Ten Hag. And if he's as good as people say he is, then it will not take him years to get Man United competing. And if he's not, he'll fall by the wayside like a lot of other people have done at Man United
Who
recently.
finishes highest? If the whole thing is... Well, the whole thing's about to kick off this weekend. Who finishes highest?
Conte.
Conte or Ten Hag?
Conte. I think Tottenham have an opportunity. I don't know what that opportunity quite looks like. I think they'll win something this year. I don't know whether they'll go out in the early stages of the Champions League and then drop into the Europa League and win that by default. It's still a major tournament, still worth winning. I don't know whether they will take one of the FA or League Cups. I just feel that with Conte, you've overcome the problems. We've overcome the backdrop of the media being focused on how combustible his relationship with Daniel Levy is going to be. He's got them into the top 4. We're not hearing the rumblings. He's buying a team that is beginning to reflect the image that he wants. He's beginning to get the players to grasp the nettle of what's expected to play for Conte. We're seeing the pre-season training about how hard they're having to work. So we know that they're going to come out fast and hard and strong and capable. And I think Conte is a proven elite manager. He's proven. Ten Hag is an elite manager in Holland. And that's not decrying the quality of football that comes out of Holland, but the leagues are not as competitive as the Premier League or the Serie A, and he's won in both.
Take me forward now to the last day of the season. In the last day of this upcoming season, where are Manchester United going into the final game?
I mean, that's a difficult question to answer because we don't know what they're going to finish doing in the transfer market. If you sit there with what they've got now, 6th. If you sit there with some significant changes and some additions and whether buying players that don't want to come to you is included in that equation. I'd like to think, because of Man United's lustre and imagery and because of my belief that when you close your eyes and you think of the Premier League, at the top of your images comes Manchester United, that they would be in amongst it. Again, that's a transfer policy that will define that. But I think Tottenham will finish above Man United, and I think there's a distinct possibility they may finish above Chelsea.
Woof. Okay. You back tomorrow with me at 10?
I am.
I'm delighted about that. Paul and Charlie are on the way. That was a look ahead to the upcoming Premier League season, thanks to BT Sport. And tomorrow we'll discuss all things Arsenal and if they've done enough business to get back into the top 4.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.